Hello, Black women. I am talking today about how to cope with grief. I just jumped off a live video, asked about healing journey questions from Black and West Indian women, and I didn't see all the questions, so I am making separate videos about some of the ones that I missed. This one is about how to cope with grief. Before I start, let me introduce myself. Hey, everyone. My name is Roshini Cope. I am a content creator, a special needs mom, a healing journey coach for Black and West Indian women, and I am a Black woman healing. I create humor filled healing spaces so that other Black women can heal too. You are so welcome. Okay, today I'm talking about grief. And if this video resonates with you, if you're new here or if you're true here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button or follow and like, and hit the arrow and share this video with another Black woman healing. Let's talk about grief. Ironically, my last name is Cope. Okay, so how to cope with grief. The first thing is, what is coping? Coping is effectively managing a thing. So, what is grief? Grief is the feeling that you have lost something. It's a feeling of loss, a feeling that something was yours and now it is no longer yours. And oftentimes, grief is about a person that we lost, but we can feel grief about so many other things in our life. And I really want us to elevate just the concept of grief. You can feel like you've lost friendships. You can feel like you've lost relationships. You can feel like you've lost a actual physical human that was here and now passed away. You can feel like therapist Yvette Bean said on her video about grief, which I'll put a link to that down below. You can feel like you've lost a relationship with your church family. You can feel like you've lost financially. There are other places, a pet, right? So grief is just, how do I effectively manage a feeling of loss? Yes, that's what this question means to me. The answer to this question is complex. And honestly, it's bio individual, which means it's unique to every single person. The first thing that I would say is, what do you need to be able to effectively manage grief? And I don't mean that like, hey, what do you need? I mean, like, I would sit down and I would ask myself, what do I need in this moment? I'm not saying what other people tell you that you should need. I'm saying you yourself. I would sit and I would ask myself in the quiet moments, what do I need? And the answer to that might be something that society does say aligns with how people tend to grieve, and it may have nothing to do with it whatsoever. Let me give you an example. What if you are grieving the loss of something or someone and you feel like you need to journal about it? Let's say you need to start a podcast about grief so you can express your thoughts and find a community of other grieving people. Let's say you need a community of people that are grieving because the people around you do not understand what's going on, and you need to seek out other people who can help support you in that loss. What if you need to express yourself through art? What if you need to take a pause, a break from life to process? What if you need to weep? What if you need to rest? What if you need to elevate the fact that, let's say, this person or this thing that was lost existed in your life by doing something commemorative, by creating some art, by wearing some jewelry, by getting a tattoo, by changing your hair, by talking about them? What do you need, you specifically need, to metabolize and process the feeling that you have lost this thing? When you start asking yourself new questions, you get new answers. Okay. And so there are lots of examples of what are socially acceptable ways of processing and experiencing and coping with grief. But if those things are not sufficient for your feeling, your personal individual feeling of loss, then ask yourself what you need. Okay. Do you need to plant a garden? Um, I specifically have experienced a lot of grief in my life, specifically in the realm of people dying. And it can be a lot, especially when you realize that what people give you as ways to cope with grief is not given what it was supposed to have given for you, boo boo. So that's what I would do. The next thing that I would do is I would reach out and ask for resources like this video that you asked me about. I'm going to put a link to all the videos that I've made about grief on my YouTube channel down below this video on the different platforms. So if you're a person that is wondering because you literally cannot even conceptualize other things to think about to help you cope with your grief, I got you. I'm going to put it down below. But I also offer you to not just do what I did or do what I said, but to innovate and think beyond it. And if you need to go for a walk or if you need to like do something on that person's birthday, or if your dog passed away and you need to get a pillow with their face on it, or a pot with their face on it, or do something, give a donation to a charity. You need to ask yourself, what specifically do you need to cope with the feeling that something was lost? The other thing about a feeling of loss is, because you feel like something was lost, if you do nothing to fill in the void of the thing that was lost with an expressive or commemorative thing, then you're always going to sit in the feeling of loss. I am big on being a creator, a growth mindset type person, and mindset healing type individuals always think forward as to what can I do to experience this thing in life in the way that I desire to. And so if there is a hole left by a feeling of loss of a friend or a family member or a pet or a job or a financial situation or a marriage or a relationship or a whatever, or like your physical health, whatever you are grieving, intentionally choose something that you will put in the hole. I don't care if people think it's normal, okay? If every single year you dye your hair a certain color because that was your mom's favorite color and you dye it on her birthday, and people tell you that that's not how they would do it, that's because they're not you. Intentionally put something there so that that loss is now a almost like a planter for the new experience that you are using to process and in a healthy way, a healing way, the grief and loss that you are experiencing. Also, never knock yourself for feeling grief. Grief is a natural response to feeling like something is gone. There's a quote that says, "What is grief but love persevering?" Exactly that. If you didn't grieve the thing, that means that this thing had no impact on you, right? Grief means that there was a actual impact and it was a positive impact, and now you are feeling like this thing is no longer in your life. And that is a valid response to feeling that way. And never let anybody tell you to get over it. Never let anybody knock you, or never let anybody knock a way that you are grieving, as long as it's not harmful to you or harmful to others. Amen. And so that would be my answer to how you cope with grief. Intentional choices on how you are going to show up. Commemorate this experience. Allow yourself to feel what you feel. Allow yourself to make choices that are unique to you about what you need to metabolize this experience of valid experience of feeling of loss, and then do that. Amen. Amen. Hopefully this helped you. Like I said, I am a healing journey coach for women, Black and West Indian women on a healing journey. If you would like to work with me as your coach, visit thepineapplecrowns.com. The membership is not open again until July of 2024, but go ahead and join the waitlist and you will find out when the membership is reopening. Right now, the Create Your 2024 virtual planning retreat for Black and West Indian women is going to begin again June 14th. It's Friday, June 14th. So you can enroll there at thepineapplecrowns.com. If 2024 has not gone the way you want to, you can create something different. I have created this planning retreat to help you get unstuck and to create an actionable plan based off of who you actually are, not what the world tells you you're supposed to do, what you want to do, and then help you execute that plan. Visit thepineapplecrowns.com. I would love to work with you. And that's it. Keep healing, you guys. Be well, be encouraged. Here's a pineapple. Bye, y'all.